Okay, you're live there, and I'll turn the recording on. Good.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Osnaburg Township Trustee Meeting to order at 7:35 on October 24th. Please stand for the pledge and short devotion. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day, Lord, and we just ask that you watch over all the residents of the township and all the employees that work so hard to keep our home great. It's in your name. Amen. Okay. All right. All right. Approval of the agenda. Any additions?
I have no additions.
I do not either. Mr. Lowry?
I think I got everything on there that I needed to get on.
Sounds good. And just as a point of reference, Randy Pirro is not present in the meeting tonight. And so we will roll call vote. All right. Approval of minutes from 10:11.
Trustee Griffith motions to approve the minutes as presented.
Trustee Varian second. Roll call.
Griffith
Yes.
and Varian.
Yes. Approval of the the treasurer's report.
Trustee Griffith motions to approve the treasurer's report as presented.
And Trustee Varian second. Roll call.
Griffith,
Yes.
Varian.
Yes. All right, seeing no public speaks, we're moving on to the next. Fire report.
All right, it's true. Just two things. One, 255 needs an alignment. The other morning, they went to check the tire and the one light is rubbed through the belt.
Okay.
So I don't know, that feels like it's really out of alignment. It is going tomorrow to C&B's to get an alignment and likely a new tire.
Okay, one tire, two tires, you can get
So
one.
we have one that will fit that truck that they will probably need to mount on another rim. I'm
Okay.
just afraid that if it has way more tread than the other front
Yeah.
tires, they're not gonna wanna pair that with what's on there.
I think C&B will give us the right thing though. They'll look at it and see.
I think
Right.
so as well,
Yeah.
but I
They'll-
just,
Great.
so heads
So let's
up,
take that other tire just in case we can save some money.
that's the plan,
Great.
is to take it and see.
That's great.
And then the other thing is we need to have some discussions about staffing.
Mhm.
So, I mean,
So Chief Parker and I have chatted a little bit. We feel that right now we have some holes in our schedule, and we feel that sort of like what we had before, but we feel like it's a little different in the fact that we're very confident in our team, and we feel like our group of folks that are working together work really well together. And I don't think it's a situation of people not wanting to work together like it may have been in the past. It's more of a situation of people needing full-time jobs. And so we're losing people to the Benny's job. We're also losing people to, I'm 26 and I'm not on my parents' insurance anymore. I'm seeing that in the world I live in the childcare facility. People are leaving me to go get benefits jobs because I can't provide benefits where I am. So we do have holes in our schedule. Chief Parker and I have talked, had a couple of strategy ideas on some things we could do to possibly encourage and get more folks involved. So it's not something that anybody else, no one's solved this yet. There's folks out there that are struggling with the same thing. One of the things that Chief Parker brought up too was that, Chief Bordner over in Louisville, who's full-time, but he has a part-time staff like we do. And he was, he said he's been struggling with some of the same things. One of the things, and we talked fire district before, and we're not going down that road at this point, but one of the things that Amy brought up the other day, she said that she was the only one on. Louisville had one person on. And so together they had to go and fight the crime of the area. So they had one truck sitting here and another truck sitting there, and they're running all over the place with trucks sitting in people's driveways to try to keep the peace. So I don't know if in the future, maybe not right now, maybe in the future, we talk to Mr. Chief Bordner if he's dealing with the same issues, that we could, do something a little different as far as borrowing each other.
How many, just over there do they have on their roster?
On their roster, I don't know the answer.
Do
to
they
that.
got 10 or they got 30
No,
or
their roster is deeper than ours. I don't know a number.
are they still where they do what you all do voluntarily? Are they on like will you volunteer your time? Like you say, hey, I'll be available myself.
You
available?
post availability.
I believe that their schedule is based on availability as well.
Okay.
Similar to us, most of their people work somewhere else.
Yeah.
Very few people, it's their only job. So, but that day there, they were, instead of having 4 people on, they had 3. So they had one squad with 1 person, as we had one squad with 1 person.
Yeah.
And so multiple times during the day, we met up and helped each other out. And I was like, oh, there's got to be a better way to do
There's
that.
got to be a better way. Yeah. Okay. So Amy and I are going to continue to talk about this and kind of take a look. We have a couple folks that haven't filled our November schedule yet because of family issues, and we might get a couple more of these filled.
So Parrish used to have a fire department, correct?
No.
I thought down in Minerva Way, they had one that dissolved. Was it Minerva?
So Robertsville.
Or Robertsville?
So Robertsville covered the western part of Paris Township, and Minerva covered the east part of Paris Township, and they formed a district.
Okay.
But in the end, Robertsville pulled out of the district and dissolved, and so Sandy Creek Joint Fire District covers all of Paris Township and all of West Township.
Okay. So is there any potential firemen down in that area that used to be on their fire department that we could check
That used to
into?
be on
Robertsville.
Robertsville. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, that was before I had kids. That
Oh,
was all.
really?
So
Oh, so we would probably be servicing them.
Right.
Okay.
yeah, it wasn't a recent
Okay.
change.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we are not the only department that's having staffing issues. Like, I mean, talking to other chiefs, like it is a common problem.
Mhm.
Well, it's that way in all the
Just
jobs.
not enough. Well, and we talked about that too, where, if you're a restaurant and you're short on staff, you put a sign on your window that says, hey, we're closing at 5 o'clock today because we don't have the people. And I'm like, I can't really
do
put a
that.
sign on the door that says, hey, we're short staffed. Like, it's just not the same
Yeah.
business. And the training for us is a lot longer.
Right.
So,
Well, and it's just as just a point of, I guess, reference, and this is a weird way to look at it, but I feel it stinks for us that we're short-staffed. But the flip side is we have been able to produce quality folks that have gone on to get better jobs to better them and their family. So I feel like that's a feather in our cap because we're losing people to full-time jobs and they're hireable. Now I know we've trained them. I get all this. But at the end of the day, I feel like we need to be happy for these young people that actually are going to get a pension job. Because wouldn't we all want that? Like,
yeah.
I'm not going to.
It is hard when somebody leaves and says, hey, I got a full-time job. I gotta go. And you're like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
but it is what it is. I mean, you're not gonna stop people from getting a full-time job.
Question I have on
Yeah.
our roster now, when it has 14 or 15 people, is
That's
the roster, they're just not, they're still with us? Because we only have one resignation and we hired somebody. So to me, we still should be at 16, other than there was one or two that weren't working that much. Or are we not down to like only 12 or 11?
No,
What does
Dan
that
was
mean?
Dan was home for a family
Yeah.
need.
yeah. So he was
You
off.
see here,
Yeah,
But-
Dan will probably put his name on this November a little bit if
Yeah.
it works out.
But no, we had one retire, and then we had one move to Arizona, and then we just had another one leave. That was the last meeting. He got hired somewhere else. So that's 3 within the last little while.
but I'm just talking about when I look at the roster, like when I'm doing payroll,
Mm-hmm.
there's out of 14 or out of 16 people, maybe 2 of them haven't worked, like for whatever reason.
Mhm.
But the other ones are working some.
So you're paying part-time wages of 14 people.
But the wage, when I look at all these people leaving, I don't really see a lot of people leaving. I've only seen 2, but we've had 2 more come back on, that McVeigh and Combs.
Mhm.
And I keep thinking, are they leaving? Are Are they
I could've
leaving,
gotten it.
leaving? Almost caught me. Are they leaving, or are they just not available because they're working another full-time?
So it's both. We had
It's ours. too.
one employee who worked a lot.
He has 2 pets. He
Yeah.
brings 2 just in case that happens.
That just took another job. And so her availability has extremely
And
changed.
she's there all the time. Every time I'm up there,
Was
she's
there all the
working.
time.
She's there all the
She took
time.
another full-time job. And I was like,
Dang it.
great.
Yeah.
So
All right.
it's hard, but it's a conversation that we need to have. Like,
Yeah.
it's not,
Going away.
we've got to figure out what the plan is.
Back to 255. We'll probably be under the 250 marks maybe to do an alignment for 100 and something and then a
Okay.
tire. Do we need to get something approved?
I think you're gonna be able to
Okay.
do
You
that.
just gotta go get it and,
You want to bring it back, get it, and we'll do it then and now?
yeah.
Is that okay?
I
Okay.
mean,
All right,
you gotta
let's
do.
get it done and we'll do it then and now next time.
Okay,
All right.
it's going.
You
You
don't
wanna
have
give us
any,
your-
you don't have any idea.
We don't have any
if
idea.
It's a
It's
tire.
fine.
No.
1 tire, 2 tires. Yeah, you could be up to $400 or $500 if you're getting all that. All right. You want to do the calls for us?
31 calls, 19 ALS, 5 fire calls. We've had some vehicle fires lately, like that has been something we've been experiencing a little bit more lately.
But like electric batteries,
No,
just
Just vehicles on fire.
yeah.
Got
Some other entities have been involved, checking them out. 9 assists from Louisville, honestly, partially because I've been gone for 2 weeks. So that makes a big difference. And then a couple of other assists on it.
Just as a point of reference, and this isn't, Amy didn't ask me to say this, but I'm going to say it. Amy's running a lot from home. So she doesn't leave her radio. So I hope you enjoyed yourself on these last 2 weeks
Yeah.
off. As soon as she got home, she was running
Yeah.
to my house because there was something on fire at my house. So speaking of that, I wanted to speak this on record. This is from Dean and Ruth Varian. It says, please announce and record at your next trustee meeting that we are very grateful for the rapid response and professionalism of the Osnaburg Fire Department to our structure fire on October 23rd. Thank you. So he wanted me to read that. And so, thank you. They had a little greenhouse fire. No more greenhouse. Anything else for fire? Okay, we're moving on.
I
Oh,
had on that agenda there, I want to discuss the premium pay. It might have to, I have to know this in the next, to start, like kind of going to the end of the year.
okay.
The dollar amount that you all had approved, we went from a $4 to a $10 premium pay back in October of last year. And that's when you all said, let's run it through October of this year.
Okay.
What we need to be able to do is to run that through so I have a cap number for the 2023 amount. I'm suggesting you need to use, based on what's going on right now, up to $20,000 because you're over 15, almost 16,000 of it for the year of 2022 right now.
Do you want to do this today and have it done, or do you want to wait for
Well, I
Randy?
think you need to do it because
Okay.
for auditing purposes and all, I want to get that set up so it's in place moving into the new year.
Okay.
And then, next year as the American Rescue Funds deplete out with projects that we are also committed to, there has to be a discussion about what we're going to do if we're losing firefighters to full-time, if you want to, if we're going to have to adjust hourly wages in general, or are we going to have to pull some of this premium pay from one of the soft billing
So,
funds?
Mr. Lauer, you think 20,000 will be a good number to?
Well, that'll be an even number that I
Okay.
can use for the 2022 year,
Okay.
because I have to, in 2023, we have to set the money aside and say what you're going to, you trustees and
Okay.
everybody, what we're going to spend. And I want to make sure where I'm at, because the capital funds for a new, say, fire vehicle, like an ambulance, I can utilize that for a little shortfall on the balance for
Mhm.
American Rescue. The same thing with the road. I have a road truck fund. I have a fire engine, that
Right.
those funds, I'm not going to be able to put as much money in as originally budgeted in our yearly budget, because we had big repairs in 2021 to one of those fire trucks.
So if we make a motion to use 20,000 of the American Rescue funds for 2023, is that comfortable?
It's comfortable,
Okay.
but you have to understand that's a stopping point, because you can't go on anymore, because you trustees are gonna make decisions, I think.
In the meantime, well, I also think that you need to take this staffing issue, we need to talk about it before the end of the year here.
Yeah.
Because it may mean that we're putting a levy on the ballot at some point, and that takes a long period of time to get that to happen.
You have to go to the, you'd have to go to the county auditor, you have to have all your ducks in a row to put that on there.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Would you, if, I'm not saying we're there, but for my sake, because I don't know, if we made a decision tonight to put a fire levy on, how long would it take to actually get on? Is it 6 months? Is it 8 months? Is it a year?
No, you can get it on, like, say, like right now, you can do all your ducks in a row, it'd be on in the spring one.
It would
Yeah,
be
we gotta
obviously
make
not
November.
November, but it would be
It'd
in the
be
spring.
May.
So it's a 6-month proposition.
yeah,
Okay.
at least 6 months.
Okay, 6 months. I was just curious. Truly.
It depends on the timing of it.
Right.
Because you don't want to pay for a special election, you want to hit one of these.
Yes. Yes. You want to hit it. Yeah, I understand. Okay. Do you want any conversation about that 20,000?
No, I'm fine with the 20,000. I just don't want to wait to do the staffing when
Yeah.
we don't have enough time to really plan
Right.
what we want to do.
Okay. Trustee Varian moves to set aside $20,000 of the American Rescue Workers Funds to continue the premium pay for the fire department employees.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
Roll call, Griffith
Yes.
and Barron.
Yes.
And that's our first resolution, is gonna be 22-242.
Okay. Anything else for fire? All right. Cemetery.
Okay. The only cemetery activity I have to report this month is I sold 2 lots at Mapleton for $550 each. So I'll be submitting $1,100 for these 2 lots. And then if I could get your signatures for the
Are they
deeds.
the same people, or?
Yes,
Okay.
one for him and one for his daughter.
Okay.
There's the money.
Top one.
Thanks, Ryan.
I'm more thorough. Sorry.
So while we're doing this, have you been in contact with the Historical Society for the Wreaths Across America? Date?
Just that we're doing it. The plan is everything the same.
They didn't give a date, because I seen Plain Township's date, and I'm wondering, and they said that's the national,
Yeah,
so it would
we're
be
on that day.
So that's
Whatever the-
December
yeah.
17th, then I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. Whatever that Saturday is.
You said December 17th.
I believe that's what was in that flyer.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we have one more mowing prior to that, right?
Yeah,
To get the leaves cleaned up.
he wanted to do a couple more, and I told him right now, the way the budget is, that we did the extra mowing in the spring, that Mapleton was the only one I said to do right prior to that. Right now, unless something would happen, we need another.
There's a lot of leaves. It definitely needs it, but one more would probably get us by.
He told me he would shoot for that first week in December just to do them, just so he can make sure all the leaves are down.
Do you want me to sign it?
All right. Anything else
Our
for
witness.
cemetery?
That is it.
Okay. Thank you
Thank you.
very much.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, Mr. Unkefer.
Good evening.
Good evening.
If the trustees have looked over the report, is there any questions you'd like to ask?
Did you have success on that tailgate well?
No,
Okay,
we're taking it up to Buck Hill fabrication tomorrow morning.
cool.
I talked to Jeff up there.
They're gonna
He said,
piece it in for you?
he said he would take it off and put it in the press. And try to
Okay.
rebow it back fairly straight.
He's gonna take the whole gate off. He's gonna take the whole gate off.
Take the whole gate off, take the truck up there and leave it so they can
Pull
take
the
it
gate.
off, put
Okay,
it in the press, put it
Yep,
back up there,
good.
see if it's
cool.
lining up right.
That gate's heavy, yeah, yeah.
So what
Yeah.
happened to the gate?
They both.
It's just over, and
It's just stress from over the years, they get bowed.
then your little rocks tinkle out the bottom.
Like Jeff said, when you have a tailgate, it has the coal chute in the center at the bottom there, it takes the strength away from the tailgate.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And from over the years, I mean, a lot of the weights probably for like the salt being in there in the wintertime lifted up, push them back on it all the time. But I mean, it's fatigue too. Last week, Gary Chad came up on Thursday, I think it was, and we got all the new GFIs in. He had to come back this afternoon and replace one.
Oh, yeah.
Bad already.
Okay.
He says usually about 1 out of every 10 you put in. He said, "Oh,
Out of the
bad.
box, it was bad.
It'll work for a little bit and boom, go bad." It did. One of them did. Yeah. So he came and replaced one. Checked it out and everything's working all right now again. I mean, everything was working great Thursday when he left. It just,
Yeah.
he says, tends to have them go bad.
We've already approved that, haven't we? Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
We
it
did
was
last,
all
Yeah,
approved.
we did
that's
last.
I just wanted to let you know it was
It's already
done.
done.
Great.
It's already done.
Yep, already done. So,
In the road category, has our salt shed builder cashed his check?
As of 11 o'clock today now.
Okay, thank you.
Neither check.
Okay, and the other check's been sent?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. Anything else for the road? We got, anything else on this for the road?
no, not really.
You don't need to buy
We're
anything?
just
You don't need to buy
cleaning
anything?
up and working on stuff, getting ready to
Okay. Do you
go
have
over
your,
everything for winter.
do you have your snow pushers ready? As far as your,
Our plows and stuff are pretty much ready to go.
as far as your people goes?
Oh, well, we're still looking for somebody for a snowplow driver for the 550.
Okay. Okay, oh, you got that there. Okay.
Yeah, so,
The 550 is non-CDL.
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a pickup
Yes,
truck. Yeah,
it's just,
it can be,
Yep.
it can be
Be
somebody
anybody.
that's got some
Yep.
ability. Okay. Did Randy say that, is his son willing to work a little bit this year or no? Rudy, as a backup, because he has a CDL.
Well, he said that he would.
Yeah,
he would, but
but not.
the
every
problem
single-
there is you can't hardly ever get him to come out early.
Okay. Gotcha.
I gotta have people to go at
Go.
4 o'clock in the morning, go to have roads opened up,
All right.
school buses and everything, not 9, 10 o'clock.
Right.
Hey, fine.
All right. Fiscal Officer Lowry, you want to explain here the permission to use other resources to hire part-time road employees?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me, I just want to pull something up there. Back when Stu had mentioned that and you all gave permission to start advertising.
Oh, yeah.
We really didn't have anything that were advertised. We were saying like snowplow drivers, which is like hit and miss, but also like the mowers where Ray and Dave were doing the mowing.
Mhm.
And back, a couple years back, I know that, let me just check here, right here. I had put this on back then. We haven't had one nibble on this. It's just a basic thing to call in there and talk to Stu to see if he can get anybody just stirred up to ask questions.
Okay.
My idea of this back then was you need to maintain part-time people here all the time.
Yeah.
Because when you hit and miss, guys just come and work for 3 months and leave. Well, some of them will make themselves available. There's no plowing. Some of them do not. You need somebody in here, I think, all the time. Now, you might say, what about money? The budget for having 2 guys like Dave and Ray, along with a snowplow, we usually use between 20 to 25,000 a year.
Okay.
My thought is why don't you get 2 guys that work part-time, whether Stu wants to have them in here like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and another guy working Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and spread it out and work them 40 hours, 20 hours a week, part-time,
Okay.
and keep them in here all year round. Then when you
So you're not rehiring all these
Yeah,
every year?
then when you hire them, they have an opportunity to work around Stu and Brian more. It might get somebody to commit to it, saying, yeah, I'll do that, if I can work like that. And then with that, Stu would have, and Brian would have the ability to work around these guys to see if they could help out on other projects, such as if Stu wants to go on a vacation or Brian wants to go on a vacation, the other guy here isn't sitting here by himself if
Sure.
some major project happens. My suggestion was maybe to reword something here to try that, and then also try like Indeed.com, one of these, employment, and just try, because I've talked to people that it has done well. Trustee Griffin, I know she helps at the colleges with placement sometimes. She might have some ideas, but that's what just to see if we get somebody.
I think that we need to do a little more to this, because if somebody saw
Well,
that.
this is just.
I know this stays out there, but it doesn't really say what you're looking for. I think if you now you have to answer what you're looking for. Would somebody retired be okay for doing this? And if they are, and you put that on there, you might get more bites.
That is generic because no one said what you want.
Yeah,
You
sure.
are not,
Sure.
how do you advertise, like, when you knew 2 guys are leaving, that you want somebody to work 6 or 7 times, it's snow plowing snow,
Yeah.
and it could be at 2 a.m, it could be an emergency call or anything.
Well, I think it's safe to say that we would need to find somebody. We can't find somebody that's got a bunch of skill, because we probably can't afford that.
Right.
We're not gonna bring somebody in with a CDL and all this, probably gonna bring somebody in that's a
Remember,
laborer and get them started and start teaching them
you aren't gonna be able to afford no $25 and all these,
Sure.
any ridiculous, but the $15 already been set as a pretty good wage to at least get somebody in here
Okay.
and test them. But yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you, we can reword anything, but we have to have your blessings,
Yeah.
your resolutions to be
Okay.
able to do this. And then I think if it looks more appealing then to like, wow, I'm not going to just go on call, and Stu might have to wait till the first storm, then scramble and get somebody in here. I think you need somebody in here around them guys now.
No.
That's my opinion. But I'm saying as a fiscal officer, the money's available. You had Dave and Ray in here from, your end of April and May.
David and Ray both
July.
done.
No, Ray's still here. Oh,
Ray's still here.
Dave retired.
Dave's retired. Okay. But
But
Ray doesn't push now though.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, I got you.
But if you go and have that in here, you got to have somebody in here. And I don't know the guys we had that Mr. Wheeler, you have guys like that say they are going to retire, if they're going to come in here and stay or not. You can't wait if you're going to do something. You got to
I don't know
advertise.
how
Do
much
you,
longer
let me ask
Ray's
you
gonna
that,
work
let me ask
either.
you this. Do you have somebody in your group of guys that have worked here before that you could call on and say, hey, Mr. Wheeler, we're looking to put somebody on part-time all year. Would you be interested in that?
Well,
or do you want to just go to Indeed?
Mike
just do what you
Wheeler,
can?
whenever him and Rick was supposed to, whenever Rick's ready to sell the business, Mike really wanted to come in here and work part-time.
Okay,
Mowing through the summer and helping plow and stuff.
okay.
Somebody like that's the perfect person that's kind
Do
of
we want
more or
to
less
make
retired.
do we want to make a phone call
And
before we
actually-
post it?
Brian, they can work more than 20. We just got to keep them under 32.
Well, I'm saying try to get 2 staffing. You can't keep 2 guys in there and work them 30 hours each.
But maybe you have one guy that doesn't want to work a whole lot, only wants to work maybe 10 hours a week. If he does work the other one.
You don't know until you get some
Yeah.
nibbles.
Yeah.
You got to
I mean,
bring
is it a phone call to Mr. Wheeler and say, hey, we're looking to put somebody on part-time all year and see if he'd be interested in that? Or he may say, I'm not there yet.
Well, until they
So,
So I had
until
a
they
guy
say
that was
Rick's
interested,
selling the business, whatever.
but
Mike isn't leaving.
because he retired.
okay.
And because there's such a shortage, somebody already grabbed him when he's back working again, because
Sure.
they're paying him that much to come back.
Sure, right.
I think Stewie ran into that with a fellow that said some interest, and Stu just called him to check out, and here he was working again.
Working already.
He's working back the same place he quit,
All right.
retired from.
Do we, I think a post on Indeed or Start Jobs or something like that is money well spent. I mean, we're going to see way more hits than we're going to see on our little website.
And the wording on it. The
Sure.
wording,
Sure.
I'm open to all the suggestions because I got ideas. I'll get people that'll have some interest, but it's going to ping Stu. It's going to ping like
Right.
interest. And we can't, we have to know how far are we going to go with this? Do you want somebody that,
Can we
I think we need
table?
to list hours are flexible.
The
So-
finding somebody to plow is the
So we
biggest
talk
thing
to
right now.
them
but
and
it's
see
the
what they're
one-
looking for. If we list like 20 or
Everybody
30
wants to
hours,
do
whatever, and if they're not interested, they're not gonna call. So if we say flexible hours, we could talk to them and then
well,
discuss it.
okay, when somebody calls in and says, well, it's flexible to Stu, he's going to say, what, Stu? That's what I mean. What are you going to tell
Then
him?
you're gonna say to them, well, how many hours a week are you interested in working?
They'll say, I don't know. They'll say, I can work as much as you want. You know, I can be the devil's
But we're not
advocate.
going over 20 hours a week,
Well,
right?
you can go
You could go to
30 if you only
30.
have one guy.
Yeah,
If you only have one guy, you can go
Yeah.
over 30.
Well,
but you don't
let's-
go
Once you
past
go, what, over 32, then you'd have
Yeah.
the
just
problem. You
30.
gotta pay insurance.
30 is where you want to be at.
You just gotta get a hold of them, talk to them first.
It would be nice to find that guy, like you're saying right there, even one guy that would want to come in here 30 hours a week and would go out and plow snow at the 550 and mow in the summer.
Well,
and
Stu,
that'd be ideal.
let's do this. Why don't you and Brian in the garage before the next meeting, you guys put your brains together and see if there's anyone that you've used in the past or know in the community.
Well,
that
I've
you
been
could
putting it
call.
out there to all kind of people.
Then the next time we meet,
Ask them if they know anybody.
Randy will be here and we'll approve something to go on Indeed. Because since the road guy's not
And
here.
there's a lot of people who don't like to plow. I mean, some of them are just.
And I think we need to write up, we need to give some verbiage. We need to write it up,
Something in-
give you the verbiage, and then we'll put it on Indeed and go. there.
Everybody wants to.
There
do
are
it.
some truck drivers that don't drive as much in the wintertime. I can
I know.
check into that.
Even driving trucks different than going out and plowing. And you're gonna find out real quick whether they want to do it after they've been out a couple times.
Yeah, you'll find out if
If
you
they
like it or
had,
not.
if they had a bad spell and slid back down the hill, sometimes it scares the heck
If
out of
they're
them.
driving
Back
a
in the
dump truck, they'll
Huh?
be, if they're driving dump trucks, they'll be pretty good. If they're just semi-driving, that's not the same.
I know, but
But if they're driving a dump truck, it'll help.
All right, well, we're gonna talk about this next meeting, and we're gonna put a verbiage together the next meeting to put it in on Indeed, and we'll have Randy get involved since he's the road guy. All right, zoning report. Anything else for road? I'm sorry, Stu.
no,
Anything else
you're
for road?
fine, you're fine.
Okay.
Did we have a paper on there?
Well, I made nothing. I didn't do anything.
Oh, no problem.
Since the last meeting, there was just an ag exemption over on Lisbon. And on the nuisance side, there hasn't been much change, just the building without the permit. I sent a thing today
Oh.
about it to the attorney's office, so they'll hopefully get back to me soon. Other than that, there hasn't been much change. The commission, their next meeting is gonna be the 21st of November, and they approved to send their language and map to regional planning. So I got that sent to them, and then they'll have their hearing for the layered zoning the same night as their meeting. So that 21st date.
So if they come back on the 21st, if they make a recommendation that night, they'll send that to us, then we're required to have a hearing, I believe, correct, Mary? So we'll have to set that date
Okay.
for a hearing. And how much advertising notice do we need to do that?
At least 10 days.
Okay.
Just checking my calendar here, how it works. So if they meet on, we meet on the 28th, which we can't do it then because we won't have the 10 days.
Okay.
So we're talking in December. The first meeting is the 12th of December. So that would probably be our hearing date. Probably better that date than,
Do we meet the 26th? It's the day after Christmas? I don't know.
yeah, Brian, what's our December date?
Do we meet the 26th, Brian?
Yeah, we would meet.
It's the day after Christmas.
Is it the 4th? It'd be the
It'd be
following
the 4th,
Tuesday?
yeah.
But that's the official Christmas holiday, the Monday.
Yeah,
No, we don't meet on that day. We're not scheduled
we
on
meet
that
on the
day.
27th.
I don't mean to be like you guys are asking me that. I had it all in our minutes for our reorganization. It's right in there, right to the end.
Okay,
Just-
I don't think we bumped that one, but
no, okay.
Because I have it on that day.
I do too,
Do you,
on
okay,
the 26th.
You got it on
Well,
26th,
If
all right.
everybody,
But-
if everybody programs it in that way.
yeah, it might have just auto-generated. Okay, so
because,
you're okay with the 12th, are you okay with the 12th for the hearing though?
Yes.
Okay,
So I think we should plan on the 12th
so the
being that
12th will be a
hearing,
hearing.
unless they don't send it over to us. Depending on what happens in their hearing, but we should hold the 12th in case we have to have that hearing.
Okay. All right. Okay, anything else for zoning?
Did you have a date on that December 26th thing? You were right last time. We'll have to check that date.
I'm checking it right now. Just give me a moment
That's all I have.
for all of us.
So wait, I just want to comment, Mary's doing a great job.
Mary.
And I didn't tell you, our consultant is going to zoom into the commission meeting. So he'll be there in case there's questions that he needs to answer.
Right.
He's been doing a good job. This has been working, doing it via Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to pay him traveling expenses or,
Makes it cheaper for us, doesn't it?
yeah, a lot cheaper.
The regular schedule is on the 26th,
Okay,
that meeting for the trustee meeting.
All right.
But we also have what's called the reorg meeting that we're going to do, but you had that in there that we can change it to pick one of the other days in that week. We just need to do it prior to that, you could do the reorg prior to the end of the year because all officers are in position.
okay.
Can we
Let's-
do a trustee meeting and then go into a reorg meeting?
Yes.
At the
Yeah,
same
that's
time?
what you could do. Or you could
Let's
do that.
let's
Then you
wait
could-
till Randy gets here because we're gonna
Yeah.
make a decision and then we're
Yeah.
gonna.
Yeah.
Then you can do it all. Then you don't have to come scrambling in there after
Yeah.
the first of the year
That's
because you have it all laid
All
out.
done. Okay. All right. So the 12th will be the hearing, and then we'll figure out the last week of December for a reorg and a final meeting of the year. Sounds good. All right. Anything else for zoning and nuisance?
Nope.
Okay. Great. Old Township business approval for a resolution for Stark Hazard Migration Plan update.
This is the one that I gave you that has to be done by the end of this month.
Okay.
What this is this was done about 5 years ago. And to go through it, it's just something they have. And I was reading this all over. It looks like it's just like one of those things that we go through.
Mhm.
And back in that day, it was done on,
Dick, Don, on Richard.
yeah, this was done back in 2006.
Okay.
And this is the first time they've asked to renew
To
it.
renew it.
And
Are we okay renewing it just as it is?
I say you are because
Okay.
no wording's really
Do you need
changed
a,
on
do you need a motion for this?
Yes.
All right.
And then the signatures, if I had 2 out of the 3 and we just we'll
Okay.
roll call it, I can put that on there.
Trustee Barry moves to adopt as printed the emergency management. Let's see here. What are we calling it? I'm sorry.
You can
Is it?
Emergency management mitigation plan?
Yeah.
Mitigation plan?
The hazard mitigation plan.
There we go.
Federal and
Okay.
state requirement to maintain eligibility for hazard mitigation funding.
Okay, so trustee Varian moves to adopt the hazard mitigation plan as written for 2022. Is that fair?
Trustee Griffith seconds?
Roll call?
Griffith
Yes.
and Barron.
Yes. All right. Thank you. And then confirmation for extension of alternative method of local government funding. Is that what this is?
That's important, and I didn't know Randy wasn't gonna be here. Hope everything's okay. But I had went ahead, and this is something you don't really sign, you just do a resolution. I have to get it back to the county.
Okay.
This is where we get all our money on all our millage, and this is what I write the temporary appropriations and start the year out. This is how much money they say we're gonna receive in 2023.
Mhm.
So you can, I know I had it wrote up tentatively as like, you make the move, we can do trustee Griffith as a second it, and then we can do roll call, because I do have to have this before the end of this month, back to them.
Oh, so we have to do it tonight. Okay.
Yes, yeah, this
Okay.
is something I can't wait.
All right. And can we say in the motion that it's accepted as presented?
Yes,
Is that okay?
yep, you can do it, and you can say it just like that. It says that.
Okay.
You're just the weights, or the rates and the estimated rates
Great, as presented.
as presented
Okay.
by the county, because this is your county
This is
budget
auditor,
commission.
County Herald.
This is the county commission that
Okay.
has given this to us.
All right. Trustee Varian moves to accept the Stark County Auditor's report handling millage. We'd like to accept it as presented.
Thank you.
Trustee Griffith seconds?
Roll call?
Griffith
Yes.
and Varian.
Yes. Would you like us to sign this one?
You don't have to sign that one. That's all done by me.
Great.
I assigned that resolution that you just did.
Perfect.
and that is resolution 22-244.
I do have one thing I forgot about.
Okay.
I'm trying to pull it up here. I had a gentleman, I believe he's working with Strengthening Stark,
Okay.
email me and ask me if I would bring this up at the meeting. They're looking for drivers, just vehicle drivers for transportation. And some of that here, ABCD Transportation.
Okay.
Read what he wrote. I hope all's well with you. Please take a look at the job description attached. We are hiring part-time drivers, and if you could distribute this information to areas in East Canton, Osnaburg Township, that would be great. If there's any questions, let me know. They transport people to doctor appointments and things like that.
It's like non-emergency transport.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So I don't know, do we ever put someone's like on our website at all, Brian, or?
Only when they say we put someone on there, yeah, they have to go through, like, they talk to us to see what all you guys approve. But no one's really reached out to us, other than we've had some like scammers and stuff that they're looking to make money off our website. That happens a lot. That's almost a weekly or daily thing, that people try to get you on like it's a public service, but then you realize they're charging everybody and fees
Right.
for being on our website.
Right.
These are part-time openings for non-emergency wheelchair van drivers, transporting people to doctor's appointments. So I don't know if it's something that we want to put out there. I mean, it gives the description of everything they want. But they're having a shortage. So this is more of I don't want to say it's a public service, but it's a private service, but helping a public need.
Right.
Or I can send this over to Mary and she can just print it and hang it on her board. I mean, is that,
That's fine.
I don't know how many
So
people.
these are
get in.
situations where you don't have to have a chauffeur's license of any type to
No, it's
Yeah,
just a van.
transport these
Just-
people, or.
An insurable driver with a driver's license.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a van.
We have
We don't want to promote it too much.
On our-
We need our own
on our
drivers.
website, we have stuff.
And our own firefighters and medics.
We have stuff for informational, like for veterans, COVID, electric aggregation, private policy, watch. This is an area that is designed to put something in there,
Right.
but you can put it under news, and you can put something like that in there if you have something from them that I can put in there, because that's not hard to do.
Okay, well, let me send it to you then, Brian, because I know that they sit on the board with me for Strengthening Stark, so it's not a scam or anything. And
Right. You know
it's
them.
I know them.
But
So-
you can put that, something like that on here, then people will see it on our news and events.
Do you want it to the fiscal officer or to
Fiscal,
Osnaburg?
you go to fiscal officer
Okay. Yeah, I got that one.
no, not Yahoo, that's the old one.
Oh.
The new stuff, Osnaburg TWP is our new one. And then,
Oh, I have
or you
that.
can put B Lowry, like my name, B, the letter B Lowry at OsnaburgTWP.com.
Okay, I sent it to you. I mean, if we get somebody interested that doesn't have a CDL, a lot of them don't. They might be a good part-time for someone that's older to do.
All right. New township business approval for fiscal officer Larry to change the water vendor from Clearwater to Sandrock.
This is a question that we got a notice that Clearwater, usually you buy 10 bottles of water and you got one free, where they come in with a yearly total. They changed the fees that they're charging $7.23 for each bottle. They wanted a minimum of 5 bottles, but they charge a $10 delivery fee. And it just so happens when I go up to Sandrock on Tust up there for the funeral home, I asked the gentleman there, and he says, I ended up talking to the owner. He said, Brian, we are $4 a bottle. So then I went to Fulton, Clearwater, where you can go up and buy there, and they're at $4.75 a bottle. And all these things kept weighing out, and I thought, well, the only reason we were carrying 10 is because we had to buy 10 to get one free to get a price. And then the average that we buy a year of bottles is 40 bottles throughout the whole year.
Okay.
Okay. So that, if you think about it, it's 4 trips if you were to buy 10. But I know the guys don't need 10 bottles. They just did that to get the pricing low. So the idea was if you go to a Sand Rock, because that's only a few miles away, the guys could go up when they're going out and getting parts and stuff and get 4 or 5 bottles, which would last them 2 or 3 months.
Right.
Depending on, if it's hot or if it's in the winter or what have you, they might stretch out more, but we could do what we do with stamps. I could prepare a check at a meeting prior, like for $20 or $25 depending, and then all the trustees sign off, Stu and Brian walk in there and hand it to them, and they will walk right out with the bottle. I did an analysis. If you took 40 bottles at $4, now you do have to pay a deposit to start up with, because they won't take the clear water in. So that's $11 a bottle full plus the deposit. But once you got them all switched over, and then I got to figure out how I'm going to get clear water to get our deposits back on those empty bottles.
Right.
Okay. But once I figure that all out, I say the savings is going to be almost $300 a year on water.
I'd say do it.
I mean, I know right now we got some water coming from Clearwater, but I just thought moving forward, if I got you to do a resolution, I'll just change
Trustee
it.
Varian moves to have fiscal officer Flowery look into the changing of the water vendor from Clearwater to Sand Rock.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
Roll call. Griffith
Yes.
and Varian.
Yes. All right, accept amounts and rates for tentative green sheet for 2023.
I just didn't want to jump in. I thought I missed something. I didn't know. I thought I had it on there, but it must not have gotten on there. The Stark County, and I don't mean to bump you back, but the Stark County Council.
Yeah.
I got that resolution prepared and I wrote it up
Okay,
and I have it here.
we did that last meeting, didn't we?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
already approved, but what I was going to show you all, I did have it. What did I just do with it? Yeah, here it is.
Okay.
Here's the modification with the signed
with the-
document.
yeah.
I signed it, and then it's all ready to go to the clerk. I
Great.
have to have that to them by October 31st.
And you got the resolution
Yes,
number
and
on
that's
it.
in our minutes. I think you all would have saw that. But I want to send that to them now, so make it official. You already did your resolutions, you already did all that stuff, and all I did is just put in there the,
Yeah, it's in the minute.
yeah, it's in the minutes as a resolution that you did at the last meeting,
Great,
okay?
all right.
I just wanted to let you know when we're sending that into them, it's been done.
Oops, sorry,
That's
lost
my-
that one.
Now, going on to the weights for the rates, which you already did that.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, you already did that right here. I don't know how you got that in there.
Oh, okay,
We did that for here, actually.
okay, so we're moving on.
Yeah.
All right,
That Stark County, the Stark County Hazard Mitigation Plan was the one.
okay,
Then your alternative for local government funding was that one. And I handed it to you by
No worries.
mistake.
I do have one other thing, and that would be, I saw in the state updates that we get that they're calling for some legislation to come out on short-term rental housing.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you heard or saw that, Mary. So I think because there's one sitting at the BZA for short-term housing. And I think that maybe it needs to, because they're going to create some laws or some issues.
They're gonna put some higher up, higher down,
Yeah.
top down.
I don't know if your BZA is meeting on that anytime in the near future.
Not that I've heard.
Okay, so they probably want to not meet on that till we get some more clarity from the state, because they're coming out with, they're going to pass some laws governing it. So we have in our zoning book about short-term rentals, we may have to change some of that to abide by the laws that they come out with.
Right, yeah. All right, anything else for the good of the order?
It's not that it was on there, but the electric aggregation trustees, have you got any questions from residents on that?
I'm not.
I've had some questions now. It was weird because I have multiple meters and I got a card on one meter. And that was it.
Like an aggregation card?
Yeah. That says, one of those cards that says you're in. If you want out, you got to contact them.
I wonder if they saw that you were the owners of all and they just sent you one.
And it
No.
specifically lists that.
To
Yeah,
our
it
meter.
has that
Oh,
account probably on
okay.
that one, whatever
I
one
don't
you
think I've
got
gotten
it
it. I don't
on.
think I've gotten that yet.
It's actually an agricultural one. It's just the one on the pole that we use for the bottom farm. We don't
I
have a
have
house on it.
gotten a lot. That's
Okay.
what I was gonna say. And there's some people that, you know, are gonna stay with AEP and not, they're
Not
gonna
do
opt
the-
out. They're
They're opt out. Okay.
And when I say a lot, 4 people that I know of.
Are they, do they realize, are they
Well-
getting a better rate?
They feel they are at this time, which if you remember right back when Mark and Jay, American AEP does have a better rate at 0.07 at the time. And it even went down as low as 0.06 in this time from June, July, August, but the rate is going up. Also, the service delivery fee from AEP went up a penny.
Okay.
So if you gain a penny on your delivery fee until you get us at 0.0795, what are you saving? You know,
Right.
but the projection on after going into December and into the new year, AEP will go with whatever the market is. They're going to fluctuate around. What I
Right.
suggested to everybody is you just got to watch your bill. I think I'm going to keep track of it, and these a couple residents are going to give me their just total kilowatt usage against their bill, and I can just take that and put on the chart, because what I'm seeing is when the township, us physically here, was on electric aggregation, if you put both the delivery amount and your supplier amount, you're paying 0.123 average per kilowatt hour. That's combined. Yes, our supplier was 0.0505 at that time with Dynity.
Okay.
Okay, but right now, we're paying 0.147, 0.134, 0.146, and 0.144, which means it has went up in general, both the delivery fee and the supplier fee. So people need to watch it. They think they might be getting a better deal, but
Right.
once ours locks in December,
Mhm.
going into January, February, March,
It's gonna climb.
I think theirs is gonna climb and ours is gonna stay stable.
And I did have calls from people just asking me to explain that card, what it was. And all the ones I talked to, they want a locked in rate. They don't want to have to worry about the flexible rate.
Yeah.
And they're elderly, so they want a fixed rate. So they're all just staying in because they got the card. That's what.
All right.
All right.
Have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn and pay bills.
Second by Varian.
And that is-
Jump out of here.
So we must know Randy's the problem why we have a long meeting.
I knew you were gonna say that. If you were not in the meeting, you're gonna get hit, I tell you.
Yeah, you are.
Randy's the long-winded one, of course.
Hey, Mary.